Hello, this is CapCAN, the official podcast of the Capital Area College Access Network. We're excited to engage the community in conversations about college access. I'm your host, Eric Hatchman, in AmeriCorps Vista, serving with CapCAN. Joining me today is Michelle Strauss, CapCAN's Executive Director, and today we are joined by Alyssa Andrews, Director of High School Admissions for Davenport University. So let's get started. First of all, Alyssa, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me.
We begin all our podcasts with a personal story about who encouraged you to continue your education beyond high school and why was it important to you? Could you tell us a bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. So it was actually my mom who encouraged me to continue my education. I grew up as a first-generation college student, so that means that neither my mom or my dad graduated from college. And I just watched how much my mom worked and, struggled financially for quite a long time until she tried to go back to school herself. And between trying to take care of my brother and I and working quite a bit, it was difficult to balance school. So it was never really a question of if I would go to college, but where would I go to college? And I decided to continue my education at Davenport University, actually. So I have both my bachelor's and my master's from DU. And what was most important to me was that it was an investment in myself. It was an investment in my future. And it was probably the first step for me to be able to ensure that my own family would have more of a secure generational wealth type of a more secure future for them. So that was why I made the investment in myself.
Great. So I have to ask the question, did you go to Davenport in Grand Rapids or did you use one of the other campuses?
Absolutely. Good question. So actually it was way back when I went to the Saginaw campus. So Saginaw, we don't have anymore, unfortunately, but that is where I went after trying a major fail at a big public university. I didn't do well. It just wasn't the right fit for me. I tried community college for about a year. Again, wasn't the right fit for me. And then I eventually found Davenport. And I always say that I always was going to finish my degree because I'm very determined. But without Davenport, I don't think I would have finished as quickly as I had.
Sure. And I think what's important, our listeners all have different, our guests all have different journeys to just emphasize that there's no straight line in any of this. And
absolutely.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing a little bit about yourself.
Of course.
So, so I sort of alluded to this already, but Davenport has multiple campuses around the state, and we are very fortunate to have a campus in Lansing. And I would love if you could tell a little bit more about the difference between Grand Rapids main campus and the Lansing campus. And let our listeners know that Davenport actually is involved on our board of directors. Susan Port, the Lansing campus director, is on our board.
Yeah. So like you stated, Michelle, we do have the main campus located in Grand Rapids, just off of M6, and that is more of our traditional student life. So it has the residence halls for on-campus living, a very strong athletic community there, along with a very diverse and vibrant student population. So it's more of the traditional campus experience when you think about going away to college. I would welcome all of you to come and check it out because it is very state of the art. The residential halls put many to shame in comparison. Our incoming freshmen do get their own bedrooms, which is something that is very unique to Davenport. But right downtown Lansing, just a couple of blocks from the Capitol, we also have one of several commuter campuses, we refer to them as, and you get such a unique experience from our satellite campus as well because of the location being one of those. And then it's also much smaller than the Leninga campus, which gives you more of a family feel. And no matter what campus you're accepted to or apply to, you can attend classes at all of them. So I invite everyone to check out each of our campuses if it's close enough driving wise and find out what's the right fit for them.
Great. So is there a traditional type of student at Davenport, and what would the process be for admissions for that student?
Sure. So I don't think that there's a traditional type of student that fits into Davenport. And I think that's just because we do have the main campus there in Grand Rapids, and then we do have several outlying campuses. So we do really have a varying degree within our student body. I think the perfect type of student for Davenport, though, is the student who is looking to just not be another number, and they're really looking for that personalized attention. I think that that's probably the number one thing that would set Davenport apart from some other institutions. And no matter if you're a high school student coming fresh out of high school or an adult learner returning to college, the application process is very much the same. It's free to apply. You would apply at davenport.edu/apply. Our high school students, you will want to send your transcripts to us right away, so that we can make a decision on your acceptance. And then our adult students, you'd want to send your high school transcripts or college transcripts if you have any college experience. And then we would make a decision that way.
Very good. And I didn't include this in my list of questions to you, but I know that you have a strong partnership with the state of Michigan in Lansing. Can you just talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a very strong partnership with the state of Michigan. It was actually one of our first corporate partnerships, is what we call them. And by being an employee of the state of Michigan, you are eligible for a special partnership rate. So you do get quite a savings or quite a discount off of overall tuition by being an employee of the state of Michigan. You also don't need to be just a full-time employee. You could be a student employee, which is a great benefit. You could still take advantage of that. So those individuals are eligible for the benefit as well. And then any state of Michigan employees' dependents are also eligible for a discount at Davenport University as well.
I didn't know that. So that's a big perk that people should be thinking about, especially right now as we're all trying to figure out how we some people come back to school or afford school with changing circumstances due to COVID. So
absolutely. And our definition of dependence is a little bit different too. It's up to age 29. So a little bit higher than some other, like when you do your health insurance or you file your taxes or things like that. So up to age 29 for our dependents.
That's fabulous. All right. Well, I'm going to run around and tell people that now. So.
Yeah, please do.
Thank you.
So branching off of that, could you tell us what resources and programs prospective students can utilize to assist in their exploration of Davenport?
Sure. So finding out more about Davenport University is very important. You want to make sure that the college that you choose is the right place for you, the right fit for you. And we offer different type of field trip type events for high school students that they can attend both at our Lansing campus and the main campus in Grand Rapids, where the students really get to come with their classmates and enjoy hands-on experiences in a certain career field to get to learn more about the programs that we offer. And we do those specifically in technology, business, and health. So we call our health event is hands-on health. We call our business event is Shark Week, very similar to Shark Tank if you've seen that on television before. And then Making Connections is our technology event. So that's a great way to learn a little bit more about programs. Additionally, we have different events on campus. One specific to Lettinga is Panther Preview, and that's where you can come and preview the Panther life. So get a tour of campus, learn a little bit more about financial aid and the program offerings, and then also enjoy cheering on our Panthers at either a basketball or a football game. So we always do those on home games as well. And then lastly, our career services department is very robust and offers lots of events geared towards career exploration. And so some really big hits that we've had are our forums. So this past year, we've worked with industry experts to bring in experts from different industries to talk openly about different careers that Davenport definitely has degree programs too. So we've done the insurance forum, the marketing forum, and the technology forum this past year, and we look to keep doing those. They've been a great success.
Yeah, we always have updates on our social media about all of your different career forums, and we appreciate the continued partnership to include all of our students in the community in that opportunity, whether they decide to attend Davenport or not.
Absolutely. And I think that that's it, Michelle. You hit the nail on the head there. We partner with LCC for those
Mhm.
different events as well, because everyone in the community is welcome. And like I said, Davenport might not be where you end up, but hopefully we can give you a gem of information along the way. So.
Definitely. So the reason why we initiated this podcast was because we knew you had some scholarships that you wanted to be able to promote. And since it's scholarship month in December, we wanted to make sure to highlight that. So tell us a little bit about those scholarships.
Sure, absolutely. So our high school students, 100% of all incoming freshmen who are financial aid eligible do receive an academic scholarship from Davenport University. That starts off at our $5,000 achievement scholarship and does go up from there based on their high school performance. So based on their GPA, and then if they did take the ACT or the SAT. Additionally, we have our foundation scholarships, which are made possible by very generous donors to the Davenport University Foundation. And those are gifted upon students maybe for attending a specific campus location or having another requirement that the donor might have outlined. And then lastly, we do have several full ride scholarship opportunities as well. A couple being that diversity, equity, and inclusion is some of our core values here at DU. We have the MLK Inherit the Dream Scholarship and the Si Se Puede Cesar Chavez scholarships that are, believe it or not, full ride scholarship opportunities, so full tuition and fees. And those are designed for students who spread civic justice and equality within their community in some way, and who are really looking to be involved and engaged on DU's campus by spreading DEI once they're a student there. So those are just a couple of unique full ride scholarship opportunities that we have as well. And to apply for the MLK or the Chavez scholarship, you just have to have an acceptance letter from us. So we're not looking for a 3.99 or anything like that. We're definitely looking much more for the activism that a student might have participated in.
Do the students need to complete a essay or anything like that for any of these scholarships?
Good question. So for the academic scholarship, they do not. That is automatically awarded after they send us their official transcript. The foundation scholarship is not an essay-based application. They just go through a short application form and kind of check off as many things that apply to them. Maybe it's, I'm a woman studying technology, I live in Ingham County, things like that, that are dependent on what our donors have outlined as the criteria for their funding. And then the MLK and the Chavez scholarships do require a short answer, a type of essay that is all completed in a Google form. So we're asking it's 3 questions and we're asking for 5 to 7 sentences per question.
Okay, sounds great. And are those questions available for students to look at before they start the Google form?
Yes, good question. They are right on our website, and then they can click into the Google form and to go in deeper. And that's a good tip. So definitely start writing your essay in a Word document before submitting, or crafting your responses in a Word document before submitting. So.
Right. And for teachers maybe that are encouraging students, let's say in an English class, to complete the application, it's a good way for students to practice and be ready to submit. So
yes, definitely.
Great. Thank you.
Always use Word. Nothing worse than having written and a page or 2 of content and then realizing, oh, your internet disconnected and you lost it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we kind of already talked about, there's only a couple of Davenport scholarships that have like written application requirements, the Chavez and the Mlk one. But what advice do you have for students applying for scholarships, both those within Davenport and also externally?
Yeah, so probably the biggest piece of advice that I would have for students applying for scholarships is to actually apply. I made mention to the Mlk Scholarship, and I was just looking this over yesterday, and the deadline for this one is coming up rather quickly, December 4th, and I only have 15 applicants for a full ride scholarship. So if you do your math really quick, that's a pretty good opportunity for a full tuition and fees scholarship. And I always encourage students to think of it this way. If you spend 10 hours searching for a scholarship that you meet the criteria for in crafting an essay response, applying to that scholarship, if you're selected to receive that scholarship, even if it's just $1,000, you've now just earned $100 per hour for the 10 hours of work that you put in. I don't know about you all, but I would love to make $100 an hour, and it's not something that is going to happen very many times in your life. So I encourage students to get out there and apply. My other advice for scholarship searches is to look local. Look at credit unions, look at Rotary clubs, look at different foundations in the community. Ask your parents' employer, ask your parents to ask their HR department if they have scholarships. If you're an adult learner, ask your own employer if there's any tuition remission or scholarship opportunities within your company. Because local means that there's probably a smaller pool of students applying to those and a better chance of you receiving those. Whereas those national ones, they look really good. They're $100,000 or they're a full ride. But there's also thousands of students applying for those ones.
So what are some extracurricular or maybe supplementary programs that you would suggest prospective students pursue to make their applications for both Davenport and scholarships more competitive?
That's a good question. So I think the best advice that I would have to make an application more attractive for either scholarships or for admission is to just be involved. Volunteerism is very important. Community service is very important. Athletics is another important avenue. And then also professional organizations such as BPA, DECA, HOSA, which some of our listeners are probably familiar with. But more important than anything is every one of those organizations is going to teach you leadership skills. And that's mainly what your scholarship applications are going to be looking for, is those leadership skills.
I know one of the things that I've always been impressed with about Davenport is the career resources that your team has available. Been able to work very closely with your career services office on some career assessment tools and that you've made available to us in the community. So can you talk a little bit more about those career resources and how students can benefit from that while they're at Davenport and later on in their careers, such as your employment guarantee program?
Yeah, sure. So like I stated earlier, our career services department is very robust. Their motto is come early, come often. So we encourage you, even if you're thinking about Davenport, maybe you're not enrolled in classes yet, still come in, stop in the Lansing campus, see Cindy Whittam. She's fantastic. She can help you with lots of different things. And the career services department as a whole, they help with things such as cover letter writing, resume writing, showing you the things, how to make your application stand out against other recent grads that might be applying for the same positions as you. One thing that they're also great at is mock interviewing. We all need to just kind of shake the nerves off every once in a while before we go to an interview, and that's something that they can assist with as well. In addition to that, the career services benefits that our students receive is a lifelong service, and it is free. So they could come back and see a career services coordinator 10 years down the road if they wanted to as well. And part of having that lifelong commitment to our students is the employment guarantee that you brought up, Michelle. The employment guarantee is rather unique, and I don't know of any other university that offers something similar. But basically, in several different career fields or programs that we offer at Davenport, we are so confident in the curriculum that we deliver that a student is guaranteed to have a job in that field within 6 months after graduation. Of course, there's some things that they need to do as well, such as, seek career services for the cover letter and resume writing, and maintain good grades and do different things, networking and things like that. But if for some reason they don't land that job within 6 months after graduation, we will provide them with further educational opportunities in order to see what the employer gap is, what they're missing, in order to make them employable in their next round of interviews and throughout their job search. And so we do offer that in our computer science program, our nursing program, our accounting degree, computer information systems, and then also network management as well. So one day we hope to have all of our degrees under this program, because that's definitely something that we want. We offer the degrees that we do so that all of our students can find a job once they graduate. And so hopefully we'll have even more under that umbrella here in the near future.
Great. Well, check out that guarantee, right?
Yes.
Good. I should have asked this question before when we were talking about scholarships, but it's FAFSA season. Obviously, I've got my FAFSA thing behind me today. So is FAFSA required for the scholarships at Davenport? And what kind of assistance do you offer students who need some help with financial aid?
Sure. So the FAFSA is required for some scholarships at Davenport, but not all. And it's just important to speak with your admissions representative or your financial aid counselor to determine if you do have to have the FAFSA on file. If you aren't going to file the FAFSA, though, you simply just need to fill out a form that says, hey, I'm not planning to file the FAFSA for this next academic year. And then we'll have that on file. Financial aid or FAFSA is probably the scariest part for most students about going to college. At Davenport University, you are assigned someone in the financial aid office that can help you with any FAFSA questions that you have, even down to filling out the FAFSA if you're just getting stuck on something. They can assist you over the phone, via email, and a virtual appointment through a Google Meet. And then we also can do one-on-one in-person appointments with you as well. And offering that helping hand is really important to Davenport. So anyone out there, if you are in need of a financial aid night at your high school for a presentation on FAFSA, or a financial aid, a FAFSA workshop, definitely reach out and let us know. We're happy to help with those types of things for the community as well.
Yeah, well, I highly recommend Davenport, as we have called upon you many, many times to help deliver that content when we are asked to facilitate workshops. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So it seems like we're coming to the end of the interview, and I have one last question. We end every interview with CapCAN Knows, where you state your name and what you know. So I ask you, Alyssa Andrews, who are you and what do you know?
I am Alyssa Andrews, and I know that Davenport University is not the right fit for every student, but I encourage you to take a look into DU, look at our programs, come and visit one of our campuses, and apply. Meet with us one-on-one to learn a little bit more about all the great things that Davenport University has to offer and find out if we are the right fit for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Alyssa, for coming on the podcast and chatting with us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's been fun.
For more information on CapCAN, please be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. The links will be in the video description below, or to visit our website at capcan.org. Thank you for listening to us today, and we will see you again soon.